Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNN Live. We're at the Israel Conference in Los Angeles 2012. I have Yariv Bash of Team SpaceIL. IL. You know what that stands for, of course.
Illinois, of course.
Of course. And it's a non-profit organization. Welcome to SNN Live.
Thank you, Shelley, for having me over.
Well, all right, tell me what you do, because you got Team Space, so we're in space somewhere. So tell me.
So SpaceIL is a non-profit, an Israeli non-profit, and we're going to send the first Israeli spaceship to the moon. Until today, only 2 countries landed on the moon. The US with the Apollo mission, and back then the Soviets with the unmanned Lunokhod mission. And our mission is making Israel the 3rd country to join that really small club of nations.
You know, it doesn't sound too far-fetched for me. I'll tell you that right now. We go to a lot of financial conferences, and there's at least one rocket scientist at every one of these conferences. But that's not where I'm going. I went to a financial conference for resource companies, and they were talking about exploration. And all of a sudden, I'm interviewing a guy, and he goes, yeah, we're going to a planet, and we're going to do exploration in space for minerals. Not far-fetched either. Tell me, where are you going, and how are you going to get there?
Well, we talked about how far-fetched is it. Well, we've got the support of the Israeli Space Agency, the Israeli aerospace industry, all the academic institutes of Israel, Tel Aviv University, the Weizmann Institute, the Technion. They're all joining hands for the first time. It's a big mission. So it's good that everybody is backing us with that support. We have a few points, a few goals that we want to reach. The mission is reaching the moon, landing a spaceship on the moon. But by going to the moon, you achieve greater things than just landing your spaceship over there. We're already approaching kids all over Israel. We've reached more than 12,000 kids all over Israel, and we're working on a nationwide program. We want to create something that was back then called the Apollo effect. Reaching the kids of Israel, making sure that the next generation of Israel will be able to Startup Nation 2.0. Besides that, the reason that the Israeli government, through the Israeli Space Agency, is supporting us is that they believe that this could spur a new locomotive for the Israeli economy. Just like the Israeli military started the Startup Nation with all those intelligent units, we're talking about SpaceIL starting off a civilian space industry in Israel. And that could be a huge industry in Israel in just a few years from now.
I also want to add, if I know my Israeli friends like I think I know my Israeli friends, they'll probably be planting trees on the moon, and there'll be a forest before long. Because if you can grow what you grow in the desert, you could grow anything on the moon, if you ask me. How's that for confidence?
That's great confidence. Well, the first spaceship will only prove a point. We will prove that for $30 million, that's less than 10th, if not 1 times 30, the amount that it usually takes. For just $30 million, you can do deep space exploration. And that's breaking a glass ceiling for the world. It's not just NASA and the European Space Agency that can do space missions. It's small countries, it's large institutes that can also begin space travel.
It's an open world out there.
Exactly. And
nobody owns real estate in space. Come on. You know, this is...
Well, not yet.
No, this is the new frontier. That's why they call, in the U.S., Magellan, Apollo, you know, they have all the names of Greek gods and people who discovered new countries, correct?
Well, correct. So we're off to make sure that Israel is going to discover the moon.
Well, it's just a matter of time. That's my feeling.
By the year 2015, that's where the time will be right.
So what's your background?
I'm an electronics engineer. For the past 8 years, I worked for the Israeli government, dealing with matters of cyber warfare, or GPS and location-based services. Now I'm full-time at SpaceIL.
So, are you currently building the rocket, or are you going to buy the rocket? What's going on? How are you doing this?
Well, we're currently designing our spaceship. And next year we're going to buy a launch. What you do is you buy a commercial launch and you get yourself as a secondary payload on a commercial launch that takes you to orbit around Earth. We're talking about going to an orbit of a few hundred miles. That's where you're piggybacking yourself. From there you have to use your own propulsion system to take you all the way to the moon, which is 200,000 miles away. So most of the distance is on you. And at the end you also have to decelerate and make a perfect landing on the moon. That's the hardest part in the mission, making sure you land in one piece on the surface of the moon.
So let me tell you, have you gone around in Los Angeles? Because you got the Jet Propulsion Labs are all here. There are, have you been to the Lunar Unisphere, that they have down at the movie studios?
No.
Oh, you have to go down there.
Wow.
They have a simulated chair with the, it's fantastic. I have to get you in there, right? And you love it. We're behind you 100%, and it's really nice of you to offer me a seat to the moon. I would like to do the first interview on the moon, by the way, for SNN. And thanks again. And what is your website?
Our website is www.spaceilcombined.com. As simple as that. Like us on Facebook. Join us. Thank you.
I think you're going to the moon.
We are going to the moon.
My pleasure to have you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at the Israel Conference in Los Angeles 2012. Yariv Bash, Team SpaceIL, non-profit, by the way. So go check them out. What's that website? One more time.
SpaceIL.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, my favorite rocket scientist from Israel right here. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Got it.